Be me, 16-year-old mouth breather. Met this JoJo fanatic who's been stuck in the TARD room. His name's Brian. Sit down with Brian. Teacher gives us jigsaw puzzle to keep the TARD happy. Not a single word comes from his mouth as he rips the fucking box open like an atomic nuke just hit the poor damn cardboard. Pieces are scattered. So, what do you watch?
JoJo?
Pause. The fuck's a JoJo? Deathglade at PNG. Brian Hurring is like saying never mind, or whatever, for context and nonce. What I meant was, what is JoJo all about?
Oh.
Gives me a complete fucking compendium of parts 1 and 2, albeit with saliva spitting out so much out of his mouth, he could have killed world thirst. Guess I'll check them out soon. Bell rings, and we didn't even fucking bother doing the puzzle. Teacher's fucking pissed. After 20 minutes of scolding, Brian knocks him the fuck down and screams. Teacher left early that day. Sustained major physical casualties. My first one, I realized I found the world's fastest punching retard. Shall I go on? Continued. Chapter 1. The first post was a fucking prologue, bitch. See Brian after incident. Gets away with it because he's a retard and plays up with TARDspeak. Fucking lying bastard on MP3. Wicked Chad bumps into him. The fuck is this fucking retard doing to my Gucci shit, nigga? Hands off the fucking Gucci, you poor ass nigga! Brian wouldn't have it, but TARD Wranglers came in right time, right place. Go home to binge JoJo. Very next day. Hey Brian.
Super done. Watch part 1 and 2?
Actually saw up to mid part 3, but played it off as such. When was destroyed, huh?
Yeah. Sure, what?
Someone bumped into me. Same chat as before. Brian will remember that, JPEG. Ah, he's a dumbass. Let him bit. Brian storms over to him, and unleashes his own version of Star Platinum. Fucking Chad's full of bruises by the time Brian's done. He calms down after a good 5 minutes of me trying to talk some sense into this TARD. Brian tries to help him up, but Chad knows better than to get close to him. He laughs off him running away, and I just sat there, amazed as before, if not more so. Do you box, kid?
Box? The fuck's a box?
Fuck that MP3. I stood there and just wonder how the fuck can he punch so fast as a bullet train? Can't even hit like a truck. TARD gets called down to the office.
See you soon, Anon.
He waves out before being hauled over to the TARD Wranglers. 5 minutes later, see TARD with giant fucking square pom-poms. He won't hurt anyone anymore in this school. TARD Wranglers relieved. I was not. 3 minutes later, brilliant scheme hatches. Chapter 2, the brilliant scheme. Next morning, wake up 3 hours earlier and get going. Leave mum a note saying I'm going to school. I got my shit ready and take it easy for the morning. Go to school. Teacher opens up the door because he loves going to school 2 hours early before it starts to get his planning done early. I sneak in, scan around the TARD room. Found the pom-poms in the teacher's office outside the room. Grab out an extra bobby pin. Get inside the room without any sounds going off. I took the pom-poms out and ran out of the room. Make like a jet takeoff than before. I fucking maul them, piss on them, and fucking throw them out with safety gloves to not get myself contaminated. Now, there's an extra detail I missed the nonce. Back in the teacher's office before I ran off, I stuck in a virus and made sure to get the school server for extra shits and giggles. That felt when I DDoSed the school's internet, and made any and all resources they could use for teaching useless, thus having to cancel school once every teacher got there. Nice.jpg. See Brian outside. Sup Brian, gonna head home.
Oh man, it was my birthday too.
Oh fuck the JPEG. Wait.jpg. I've got the perfect birthday gift for you. I pull out my phone and show him a picture of your destroyed pom-poms, complete with piss. TARD Platinum's eyes were lit up with stars and the sky the minute he saw it, overjoyed and filled with glee for the rest of the day. Hey Brian, wanna grab a couple sodas around noon? We can always come back here. He agrees. Run back home, telling mum school was cancelled. There was no way to access the internet, which was crucial to the learning experience, as the school puts it. Alright Anon, I've got to work in 30 minutes, so I gotta jam out. She takes a coffee and heads to work. That feel when I just got a free day of no school and hanging out with the fastest punching TARD in the district. Chapter 3, the pizza incident. There's only 2 more chapters, so bear its short length, because after the jigsaw jumble and the one-ton wigger destruction, there was only a few battles he fought until he gave up his stand powers. Go to the Pizza Palace. Me and him talk about JoJo. Tell him I've been watching part 3.
Where are you?
I tell him I was around when Iggy gets introduced.
Ah, was it the fight in the desert with the blind guy?
Yeah. We keep talking until this fucking chink thug shows up during our stroll.
Give your money and food to me, for I am very low income.
Now Brian didn't necessarily know right from wrong. Only things that pissed him off deserved to die, and that was it. But here, this was it, and this was now. Someone told Platinum, Brian, this mother thinks it can get away with taking our shit. You gonna stand for... Before I could even finish my sentence, the rage builds up inside him.
The Tard shrieked out.
It started beating him up faster and more accurately. This wasn't his standard flurry. This was on a, puny as it may be, global fucking scale. It was like time stopped and he darted around the same speed as his fists normally, and his fist flying 2 times faster. He kept shrieking out his battle cry of "Ora Ora" before landing a punch in his windpipe, and kept beating the shit out of him before the thug coughed up blood. Brian, that's enough! He stopped the minute I commanded him to. I soon went home, eating pizza and taking him over to my PC so we could binge more JoJo together. My face when I had my own stand. Chapter 4. Tard Platinum vs Owadru. Next day of school, internet was fixed. $30 bounty to whomever could find the hacker. Go back to Tard room. Hey Brian.
Hey, Nom.
Lovely weather today.
Quite.
Teachers left us. He told me that if he couldn't find the guy who did it, they'd blame it on the Tards and expel them all. What, the JPEG?
Yeah, Nom. Situation here is fucked beyond belief.
Also turns out that chink thug was a student that ratted out on Brian again. This means war, Brian. This means war. Go off and play with the rest of the guys. Tell them the situation and get their asses into gear. Pronto. He nodded and resumed Tard speak. Tards rallied behind him immediately out of fear. Here comes the new challenger! Aspie shows up to the classroom. His name was Jared. Him and Brian already had blood. I looked at Jared suspiciously. Snobby little brat from giving me a talking to about how he feels uncomfortable receiving unwarranted glances. No doubt about it. He was a snitch that wanted the world to burn. 2 days later, Jared lets out the secret that Brian did it consciously. Teachers were fucking mad, but the whole school hailed him as a fucking legend in secret, and those who were brown-nosing peppy kids fucking gave him shit. Brian was being bullied every day, and the teachers did nothing. I realized I had to put an end to this madness. Go over to him.
Anon, what can I do?
When the time is right, you know exactly what the fuck to do. I head over, start rumors that the wigger from before did it. School's fresh onto it, and in those 2 days, people were apologizing to the Tard Platinum, left, right and center. Luck, as would have it, both the chink thug and the wigger were actually friends. The whole plan was dependent on Brian and to get his ass expelled. Luckily, the people caught on word that it was a setup, and sooner or later, people were furious. Everyone in the school rallied up and decided to throw him into the pit. I told them to bring a boombox for music, and to crank up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, Stand Proud opening. Everyone cornered them until it was a mosh pit. Pentacycle. Everyone circled the poor 2 bastards. The Tard Platinum and I were summoned. He knew these guys were defenseless. He soon heard the music. Pumped up than before, motherfuckers. Like I said, you know exactly what to do. He gleefully smiled as he unleashed the Tard Platinum, opening a can of whoop-ass in the first 5 seconds. He sent them both actually flying out the door with one final punch. Stand proud! He shrieked to the top of his lungs. Everyone was fucking cheering Brian, and he went down in fame as Tard Platinum. He was getting girls and having them fawn over him like he was a retarded Fabio. 2 days later, I heard he got his first blowjob from one of them. My face when I've raised my stand. They grew so fast. Chapter 5. Fight for the future. Be me. Now 17, me and Brian became really fast friends after that 2v1 incident. June.
Well, Anon, I'm heading off to boxing club this summer.
Nice, dude. I hope that goes well.
Yeah, with my punches, I could easily overwhelm my mates and kick their asses. What are you gonna do, Anon?
I told him I would be busy getting a summer job and living my life easy breezy.
That's cool, Anon. You could also always join me. We could even have a little spar.
No, .png. The Wigger Strikes Back, the little brother edition.
You beat up my big brother, and that's mean!
Kid was preparing for a fight. Tard Platinum got up and was ready to unleash him again. They soon fought for 10 minutes. Surprisingly, that was a lot longer than most of his opponents. They actually traded blows as well. He kept fighting and fighting, until he had the brilliant idea of dodging his punches before uppercutting his jaw, sending his ass sky high. Retard did a backflip and landed on the ground. Oh shit, .jpg. He unleashed the same power as before in the 2v1, and kept up with the Wigger brother. Both traded blows, a la Dio vs Jotaro stand clashes. Stand proud! He landed a flurry in his ribcage. Before he could send him flying, blood was coming out. Brian, that's enough! He didn't listen. He wanted so badly to kick his ass. Brian! I snapped my fingers, and it got his attention. I held the chocolate bar, and he ate it up, keeping him entertained. Kid ran away, but not before snitching, and nearly getting him expelled before they realized they don't have any security cameras.
I'll get you for this, retard, someday! And you as well!
That villain Wigger brother swore vengeance. 2 months later, school starts again in September. Brian is back, and he's fucking calm. Not even stuck in tight classes anymore, due to anger management issues. Wigger brother strikes back, and soon tries to punch him, before having his ass kicked in one punch. Yeah. He soon gets up, and every time he goes for a punch, he dodges and hits him right back harder. Kid gives up and cries for mommy, pissing his pants on the floor. Kid immediately gets expelled the first day of school.
Well then, this has been a fun trip. I've always been wanting to say this, but I don't have words for it. Basically, I've never wanted to hurt someone until they hurt me or my friends first. I'm giving up my strength for the betterment of mankind. I've grown up, and I think sometimes that everyone needs a little growing up too.
Blown away by a wisdom bomb. I understand, Brian, and I'm proud you feel this way. We head to our classes and live life normally. Found out that he'd been fighting for prize money in the summer and is living with the respect that he deserved from day one. Now with his own place next door to mine. See you around, Brian. Finn.